Russian war machines thunder across Eastern Europe once again, but this time, US spies are watching. In a country few can point to on a map, Putin and Lukashenko launch joint war drills just miles from NATO's doorstep. As drones take flight, borders tighten, and Washington stays silent. Is this a bluff, or the beginning of something far darker? Welcome to Belarus. Welcome to the front line of the next global crisis. In the cold winds of Eastern Europe, war drums echo once more, this time through the forests and fields of Belarus, where thousands of Russian and Belarusian soldiers march in lockstep under a sky patrolled by drones. The military exercise, named Zapad 2025, is officially described as defensive, but its real message couldn't be clearer. Vladimir Putin isn't backing down, and the war in Ukraine is far from over, with tensions simmering across Europe. American reporters were granted rare access inside Belarus to witness what appears to be a rehearsal for confrontation with the West. Columns of armored vehicles rumbled past as Russian commanders briefed units in real time, simulating how they'd repel a NATO invasion. But the symbolism is unmistakable. Just last week, Russian drones entered Polish airspace in significant numbers. NATO jets scrambled. The Polish border with Belarus was sealed, and thousands of troops were deployed. What was once a drill now feels like a spark. And as the same patterns emerge that preceded Russia's invasion of Ukraine, intelligence officials fear Zapad 2025 may not be about defense at all, but about preparation. And this time, the battlefield may stretch far beyond Ukraine's borders. There's something different this time, something colder, sharper. Unlike previous drills, Zapad 2025 is drenched in drone warfare. Above the forests of Belarus, dark silhouettes glide silently, simulating reconnaissance runs, coordinated strikes, and target tracking in real time. These aren't props. These are the weapons that have reshaped modern conflict: lethal, precise, and near invisible. Western observers remember all too well how Russia used military exercises as cover in 2022, quietly building up forces under the guise of training, then launching a full-scale invasion into Ukraine. Today, the feeling is hauntingly familiar. Belarusian dictator Alexander Lukashenko, once labeled Europe's last tyrant, has again thrown open his territory to the Kremlin, echoing his role during the first invasion. But this time, the stakes are higher, with NATO borders closer than ever and drones already breaching Polish airspace. The entire region is a spark away from ignition. As part of the exercise, Russia simulated repelling a Western assault. But insiders say the real goal is flexing force projection, showing that Russia doesn't just hold Ukraine's front. It commands the skies. If Zapad 2025 is a message, then it is wrapped in drone wings and smoke trails, and it is written in a language only generals and history can truly understand. At the center of the Zapad 2025 spectacle, two unexpected figures stand quietly among the noise: American military attachés, invited as official observers, flanked by Belarusian officers and Kremlin strategists. They watch with carefully blank expressions as simulated strikes echo across Belarus's eastern plains. It's a rare move, one designed to create the illusion of transparency. But the guest list says more than any press release. Only two other NATO countries sent observers, Turkey and Hungary, both friendly with Moscow, both known for straddling the fence in this fractured world. Order. As tanks roll by and drones whisper overhead, the American officers remain silent. Cameras flash. No questions, no comments, just shadows in uniform, sent to witness a message masked as maneuver. Meanwhile, Lukashenko, the dictator who once brutalized his own citizens during the 2020 democracy protests, has begun repositioning himself. Recent moves include freeing political prisoners and re-establishing ties with the Trump administration. Letters exchanged, sanctions lifted, flags of diplomacy raised in one hand, while the other hand loads artillery. The dance between war and peace plays out in real time. But beneath the smiles and salutes, the old ghosts remain, and everyone knows this isn't just a game. While drills roar across Belarus, another game unfolds behind closed doors. One not of missiles, but of letters, handshakes, and cold calculations. President Trump's recent outreach to Lukashenko shocked many in Washington. But insiders claim the move is strategic, ease tensions with Belarus to drive a wedge between Putin's inner circle. Lukashenko, once mocked as Europe's last dictator, now plays both sides, releasing over 50 political prisoners, meeting with Trump's envoy, and even receiving a signed birthday letter from the president himself. In return, US sanctions on Belarus's national airline are quietly lifted, and whispers grow of normalized relations. Yet in the streets of Minsk, memories of 2020's brutal crackdowns remain fresh. Protesters beaten, thousands jailed, journalists vanished. Too many. This warming of relations feels like betrayal. But Trump's camp insists it's tactical, a buffer zone between Russia and NATO, a diplomatic firewall in case Ukraine falls. Meanwhile, Putin watches silently from afar. Every deal, every handshake, every drone flight from Belarus to Kyiv. It's all recorded, all calculated. And while one hand offers peace, the other tightens its grip. In this political theater, diplomacy is a costume, and everyone's still armed beneath it. As night falls over Belarus, the roar of jets fades into the hum of tension that blankets Eastern Europe. The Zapad war games are nearly over, but the signals they've sent still echo through NATO war rooms and Kremlin bunkers alike. In a striking twist, two American military attachés, flanked by Belarusian officers, quietly observe the final drills. Stone-faced beneath military caps, they speak no words, offer no comments, but their very presence sends a subtle message. The US is watching. Meanwhile, the Kremlin capitalizes on the visual, projecting unity, strength, and surveillance. Across the border, Poland remains on high alert, its own troops deployed, its skies scanned for drones. The fear isn't just war, it's miscalculation. A drone veers too far, a radar pings the wrong signal. One wrong move, and the whole region could ignite. Inside Belarus, the handshake between Lukashenko and the West grows tighter, but so does his alliance with Putin. And as Trump withholds sanctions, demanding NATO take the first step, one truth becomes inescapable. Everyone's playing chess with armed pieces. The war may not be declared, but the battlefield is already drawn, and Belarus now stands on the front line of history.